So let's talk about one of vSphere's most powerful and maybe sometimes overlooked features, vCenter Server Alarms. Seriously, think of these as the silent guardian for your entire virtual environment. It's the early warning system that every admin dreams of. So let's break down exactly how they work.
I mean, this is the question, right? It's what keeps system admins up at night. How do you get ahead of that random outage or the sudden performance drop that brings a critical app to its knees? What if you had a system that could tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, you might want to look at this before it all goes wrong? Well, guess what? You do. That is exactly what vCenter alarms are for. They're like this digital nervous system that is constantly monitoring the health and heartbeat of your environment. They're your automated watchdog, letting you know the very moment something needs your attention.
So, to get official for a second, what is an alarm? It's basically an automated notification that flags specific events, conditions, or changes in state. And look, this isn't just about things breaking. It's about knowing when a VM's CPU is running a little too hot for a little too long, or a data store is quietly filling up. It's really the foundation of proactive management instead of reactive firefighting.
Okay, to really get how powerful these are, we need to pop the hood and look at the engine. So let's break down the anatomy of an alarm and see what actually makes it tick. Every single alarm you'll ever create is built from four basic parts. You've got the object you're watching, the trigger that actually sets it off, the severity that tells you how much you need to worry, and finally, the action that happens next. Let's dig into each of these. First up, what can you actually keep an eye on? Well, the simple answer is pretty much everything in your vSphere inventory. You can set an alarm on one specific, supercritical VM, or on an entire cluster of hosts, or even on the whole data center. That flexibility is absolutely key. Next, we've got triggers. And these are the brains of the whole operation. A trigger is the specific rule or, set of rules that vCenter is constantly checking for. The second that rule is met, boom, the alarm fires. And you've got different types of triggers for different jobs. An event is a specific action, like a vMotion happening or a VM getting rebooted. A condition is probably the most common. That's when a metric crosses a line you've drawn, like CPU usage staying over 90% for 5 minutes straight. And then a state change is just what it sounds like. A host goes from connected to not responding. So an alarm goes off. How serious is it? That's where severity levels come in, and they use a really simple color code. Yellow is a warning. It's a heads up, hey, keep an eye on this. Red is an alert. That means something critical is happening that needs your immediate attention. And of course, green means all is well. The issue's resolved and things are back to normal. All right, we've seen all the pieces of the puzzle. Now let's put them together. How does a simple rule that an admin creates turn into that flashing red alert in the vSphere client? It's a really straightforward four-step life cycle. First, you define it. You set the rules, the target, all of it. Then vCenter just monitors it for you 24/7. When your condition is finally met, the alarm triggers and its status flips from green to yellow or red. And finally, the system notifies you and kicks off any of those cool automated actions you set up. And where do you see all this happening? It's right there in the vSphere client. No digging through endless log files. All your active alarms are front and center on the Monitor tab for any object you select. It gives you this incredibly clear, centralized view of what's going on. But this is where things get really, really cool. Alarms don't just tell you there's a problem, they can actually do something about it. You can have them automatically send an email to your team, or an SNMP trap to a bigger monitoring platform, or, and this is a total game changer, you can have it run a custom script to maybe, just maybe, fix the issue for you. Now, vCenter comes with a whole bunch of pre-configured alarms right out of the box, which is a fantastic start. But the real magic, the real power, happens when you go beyond those defaults and start building your own custom command center. Yeah, think of the default alarms as your general safety net. They're great, they cover all the common problems, but custom alarms, those are your precision tools. They let you build super specific rules that are tailored to your most important applications, or your unique hardware, or your company's own service agreements. This lets you get incredibly specific. So for instance, you probably don't care if your main database VM's CPU spikes for a second or two, but you definitely want to know if its CPU usage stays pegged above 95% for more than 10 minutes. That is a perfect use case for a custom alarm. When you get right down to it, mastering vCenter alarms is really about changing the way you work. It's about a fundamental shift. You stop being a reactive firefighter, always running around putting out fires, and you become a proactive architect, intelligently managing your environment and stopping problems before they even start.
It really transforms vCenter from just a management console into a true command center for your entire infrastructure. So the only question left is, now that you have the keys to build it, what are you going to build with it? What will you protect first?